Clown kid. Does anyone know that have you ever seen like that stereotypical like Krusty the Clown sort of actual clown out there? It's like this, this middle-aged man with like he's like got a gruffy 5 o'clock shadow and he's always smoking a cigar and he talks with a raspy voice. I'm just a clown kid. I mean, is there the thing about Krusty and like that stereotypical clown trope is like it's this middle-aged guy who's a clown, and he's a clown like just to get by. He's barely scraping by making money as a clown. Now I've never met an actual clown. You know what I'm saying? Like an actual clown, like someone who is a clown for a living. I never met one, and I think it's extremely rare that man, if you know a clown, like an actual clown, not some guy who like dresses up as a clown as like some sort of like gimmick, like ICP or something, like I mean like an actual clown. Maybe a guy who works in the circus. I just was wondering, like, is that clown trope real? That stereotype about the clown being like this middle-aged guy who smokes cigars and probably drinks a bunch of whiskey, and he's just barely scraping by. Is that true? Is that who the clown really is? Smoking cigars. Just a clown kid. I mean, I've never met one, so I don't know. Like an actual clown. Never had a conversation with one. And I mean, they don't have to be in their clown paint. Is the weird thing. Like I can sit down with a guy who's a clown. He can be completely dressed in normal civilian clothes, but if he works as a clown for a living, then like he's literally a clown. So there's like no moment where I can shut that off in my head. It's like even if he's dressed normally, not wearing face paint or anything, he's a clown. That's his identity. He's a clown. So I'm talking to a clown. It's like kind of what I'm saying. And that's something that really becomes your identity. Sort of like being like gay or being like trans or something like that. That becomes your identity. But like think about like a clown. Like that is like, if that is your profession, you are a clown. That is your identity. But I guess the same could be said for like if you're a fireman, then that's your identity. You're a fireman. There's just certain jobs and professions out there that really make like an avatar for you. I guess that's the best way of putting it. And a clown would probably be the most discriminating of all of them. Like, it's gonna be the one that stands out the most. I mean, other than like a trans person. But then again, I don't know. I'm getting kind of fruity on this one. I should probably shut up. I should probably just shut up. I don't know how I got there. It's just clown talk. You know who I'm not even, I was gonna make a joke about Destiny, but I decided not to. Okay. I can't be this exhausted. The asylum treatments have ruined my body. Listen, I just have a thing about clowns. I'm not sure if I like clowns. Why Mark has been added. You know, as I was speaking of earlier, like some content creators out there like Moist Critical, I have to kind of touch upon this one. Boy, because I'm like so upset about it. Apparently Asmongold he played Mouthwashing, and if you know this channel, me at all, you know that I really enjoyed that game. And Asmongold is someone who's like completely apolitical, and he commented on this surfacing issue regarding Anya and a fan art picture of her. And if you don't know the story yet, it was blown completely out of proportion. We'll get to it in a second. Speak up. Damn freaks. Who's that? Is this a bad joke? That's strange. Who could have called him? Why did he say that? Okay, that was weird. So he called and then he just like bailed out of here. He must have a cell phone or something, I don't know. But anyways, Asmongold played Mouthwash, and I think he did a playthrough of it. He really enjoyed it, as most people did. It's been getting these overwhelmingly positive reviews. And then this someone made this fan art picture of Anya, and I agree, like, it's in bad taste, but like I don't see any reason for the internet to be completely losing their marbles over it. Yeah, I agree, it's in bad taste. You know, Anya's a character that was essentially, spoiler alert, Anya was a character that was raped. So that image that was posted of her was in bad taste, but he commented on it essentially saying the same thing as what I'm saying right now. He praised the game, and then he said, hey, this picture is in bad taste, but it's, you know, it's like nothing compared to like what else the internet is commonly producing. Like, he was saying this is not too, it's not too spicy, you know, it's a little spicy, but it's not too spicy. And the sound developer, people are saying this is the developer of the game. I don't think it's the developer of the game. I know it's the sound developer, who's probably very close with the actual developer, so he could be a co-developer or whatever, I don't know. Absolutely flipped out, lost his marbles, and is reportedly sick to his stomach over the fact that someone like Asmongold likes this game. And it's just like the biggest freak out I've ever seen. Like, Asmongold, because I think this has to do with politics. It has to do with woke versus anti-woke. Asmongold is probably, from what I've gathered, one of the most apolitical streamers out there. That's just a fact of nature. I've seen videos from Asmongold before where I thought he was kind of woke himself. So for him to just sit there and get lambasted like that, and this is someone who is huge. Asmongold is huge. I mean, he has, I wouldn't say he's like comparable to like PewDiePie, but he's up there. He's huge. And so your product is getting praise from him. I don't understand why you would attack him like that. What's more important to you? Like, he has millions of followers. He just told millions of followers that he loves your game and recommends it. And what do? But I have to take a step back and I have to think to myself, of course the person who makes who makes a mind fuck like mouthwashing has to be fucking insane. You know, like that's the only conclusion I can come to at the end of the day. Mouthwashing is a genius, brilliant fucking game, and its creator has to be equally as brilliant, but in that I think they're just they have to be crazy, because that game was fucking crazy. The person who made it has to be fucking completely crazy. That might be a major cope that I'm doing, but I don't know. Have the politics really gone that far? Like, I don't personally, I don't care about wokeism in video games as much as other people, but it does get a little like it can subtract value from a game, in my honest opinion. Like, if you're trying to make a game that's good and you're trying to make it woke, then that becomes beyond the point, because trying to make it woke, if you're arguing that trying to make it woke makes it good, then that would ultimately boil down to a matter of opinion. What I'm arguing is, if you focus on making it good, then you can, you have a better shot at making a good game. If you're focusing on making it woke, then you have a better shot at making a woke game. So that's what I'm saying, is like, they'll try to make a good game, but then they'll get off the track of trying to make it good and try to add these woke things in there, which I'm not saying these woke things are bad, but when they could be focused on making the game good, they're focusing on making it woke. And that subtracts the good value of a good game. And I think most developers would justify it by saying, well, this is a sacrifice we need to make for the community. Okay. All right. You can't argue with anyone anymore. I mean, it's there's no point. I if there's one thing that's really, I guess it's God, what is it? I guess I hate the Socratic method beyond anything. I mean, like, what I'm saying is, like, the ability to argue, in my honest opinion, is the reason why there's so much that have so many things that are just sort of in limbo and haven't been properly readjusted for society and what people need or want or what they think is necessary. Like, what I'm saying is, as opposed to just using power and force to get shit done, it's like, what happens is people argue and then things just fall into limbo, and the arguing, in my honest opinion, just stalls things. It just keeps stalling and stalling and stalling and stalling and stalling things, which is why I hate arguing, because I completely see through that. And it's just like why I won't typically argue with people in real life about petty things you read on the internet. The moment they start arguing with me is the moment I walk away, because it's like, okay, I know this is going absolutely nowhere. You're just stalling this conversation and trying to keep it at this point of perpetual insanity so it never ends. So you can sit there and just continue and continue and continue and continue to stall whatever it is from happening. Like, case in point, if we're just arguing about politics, there's nothing to be gained from it. It's just like, is it really important to change someone's mind or opinion? I mean, is that really effective? I mean, what are they gonna do? Like, it's not like they're gonna go out there and become an activist and start rallying up people to change things. They're not gonna do that. They're gonna go home and they're gonna possibly use something of a semblance of your opinion in the next argument they make on the internet. So, like, there's no point. Whatever contribution it has to society is very minimal. It doesn't help anything. I'm just bringing it up because I know Nietzsche, and I'm not a big fan of Nietzsche. I know Nietzsche had a huge problem with Socrates because the Greeks, you know, before he came along, like, they were just a very powerful government or empire, whatever you want to call them, that just got shit done. They didn't bother arguing about shit, and then he came along, and then they started arguing about shit. And then over the course of years, they became less and less and less powerful. That is what I'm saying, and this is why I absolutely refuse to fucking argue with people unless there is something that is actually valid. You know, like, is there something obtainable here? And in most cases, I think no, there is not. There is nothing at all, especially when it's just two dumbasses arguing in real life who aren't doing it in front of an audience of people. You know, like, if you're gonna watch Tim Pool argue, you know, with who, like, fucking, what's his name, Michael Malice or whatever, fine, because they're arguing in front of a large swath of people trying to get a point across and change a large portion of society's minds. When it's just two jerk-offs arguing at the dinner table because they've got nothing better to do, it doesn't contribute anything to the situation at all. It just means that they're going to go home and post about it when they're taking a dump on the toilet and scrolling through their Twitter feed. You know, it's not going to change things. And this is why, like, it's just like, I also kind of think that podcasts are responsible for a lot of the sort of, like, personal exchanges that we have in real life about politics and about these things, about arguing these things, is because you sit there and you watch people do it all day on the Joe Rogan podcast, or, you know, the Charlemagne the God podcast, you know, all these huge networks out there. Not saying that they're bad, but I mean, what people do is they try to mimic them, but they're kind of pointless. For, you know, for people that aren't on air, is what I'm saying. Is they're kind of pointless. Okay, I got a jug.